mean, what changed was, I mean, because that's, it takes it's a sense of what profits a man to gain the world but lose his soul. Um, but what has changed that you actually then said, okay, I need to be mindful of what I'm sowing into this world.
think that I think my goals change. I think for 30 years of my career, my goal has always been earthbound, earthly. And
Mm.
I think I've come to a place where like my goal is heaven now. And I think in order for one to really make it into heaven, it's not about being a great producer. It's not being about being a good person. It's about committing yourself to Christ and doing his will
Mm.
and in him and fully giving yourself to him. And with that comes some super serious sacrifice,
Yeah.
right? Because he sacrificed for us when he died for our sins. So
Mm.
we don't get to just live life and think we don't sacrifice.
Yeah.
And then when I, I've always growing up in church, people automatically think because you grow up in church that you have a ticket to heaven, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
Growing up in church doesn't mean you're going to heaven. Having a relationship with Christ and know that you're doing his will,
Mm.
that's the ticket to heaven. And that's something that I feel for myself, I have to strive for every single day,
Yeah.
right? And knowing is growing. And so I feel like I'm in the know now. And because I'm in the know now I'm actually starting to grow a little bit. And I think the closer I the closer I get to God, the more he removes some of the boulders and the things that was blocking that relationship for so long.
Mm.
Because
Wow.
the industry makes us lift ourselves up and pump our chests up and
Yeah.
this and that, right? That's what the industry does. It makes us
Yeah.
want it makes us want to be that. So I
Mm.
think, you know, you know, between you and I, like I'm not on social media. I haven't been on social media for 2 months now, right? So a lot of this is me detoxing from things that to me are just don't spiritually lift me up.
Mm.
I have people that just they run my stuff. I don't know how it's operating the way it's operated. I got a great team. Beyoncé and Sabrina, they're great, a great team, but they'll tell you like I'm just super laser focused right now.
Mm.
And and I have to be. I have to be because like I said, there's an ultimate goal and you have to sometimes I learned this like with sacrifice, you start to really see life differently. And so with the sacrifices that have been made, I'm actually starting to see my closeness with God to a different level.
Mm.
Right. I'm seeing my relationship grow and I'm seeing there's a responsibility that he's placed on my life with other people. And as I'm looking at you, right behind you is a lake. And my studio sits on a lake. And every now and then I see these fishes jumping up as I look out the window. And it's a reminder that that's really what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be fishing, right? There's a lot of lives that need to be caught for Christ. And so I have to, he said we'd be fish to be a fisherman. So I'm just trying to I'm very careful in again the music that I don't you wouldn't even you'd be so surprised if you knew what I woke up and I listened to and what I went to sleep listening to every day and just my everyday listening, you'd be surprised. There's no artist in R&B or pop that you can probably ask me about I probably couldn't tell you about. I wouldn't even know.
Well, it's okay. You're removed from.
I wouldn't even know. I could tell you about some worship artists and Christian artists all day long. I can tell you about Brandon Lake Elevation. I can tell you about Maverick City, Naomi Rain. I can tell you about Chandler Moore. I can tell you about Chris Brown. I can tell you about all of these. Chris Brown, the worship leader.
Okay.
I can tell you
Okay.
about all that. But I can't really tell you if you say, yo, Rodney, who's the top five pop artists right now? I couldn't tell you. And there's no thing against them. It's just where I'm at in my life.
Wow.
2 years ago, I could have told you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
A year ago, I could have told you. I probably could have told you a year ago. But
Wow.
right today, I couldn't tell you.
Wow. I now got to a point at the end of the year last that I said, Lord, I'm ready to, I've done this for 4.5 years. I'm ready to stop. And yeah, and it was almost that Abraham's sacrifice. Are you ready to give it up? And he knew in my heart I was tired. And I said, yeah, I'm tired. I'm ready to give it up. And then after about a month, he says, no, continue. But I knew that it's one of those things where it wasn't it had to be a case where is this my life? Do I value this more than him? And and I think there is a drawing about getting back into listening to worship because it's, what are you feeding of? Yeah, you're reading the word, but what's coming through your ears? What's building you in? Um, Anyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. So it's getting into heaven isn't as difficult. But then what he showed me a while back was, but then there's an inner court. And so here in the UK, we've got a king. And so I'm a British citizen, but I can't rock up to Buckingham Palace and hang out with the king. And he says, so most people, yeah, you're a British citizen, you've got your passport, you can fly in and out, but you can't hang out with the king. But there are people who are close to him. But that's what Paul kept saying, that I strive, I strive, I strive. Is like, I want to get close and I want to do all the work now so that when I'm in eternity, I'm in that inner circle. And so that's the mission. That's being close. That's the payoff. It isn't just getting into heaven. It's like it's spending eternity in the inner courts and right next to him on those thrones close to him. And that takes the sacrifice now. Um, but most of us, and I think
Yeah.
my challenge was always the church was really about enjoying now, sow and you'd reap and make the money here and God's going to bless you and all that. And so it became very centered on to the here and now and not really the work that, if you read Paul's what he talks about and advocates is completely different from what we hear in our most modern day churches. And so that's the dilemma. So for you, especially in an industry that is very much of a
And
self-elevation.
I think that part too, just like being able to now just focus on his word without the hoopla, without the church hoopla, like without the noise of
Yeah.
the prosperity messages and all the
Oh
different
God.
things I've heard for so long. And it's like, I just want to be taught. I just want to be taught what his word says, and I want to be able to disciple others, right? And
Yeah.
so and I'm just grateful that it's happening in this season of my life.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I'm glad that that I'm able to see it differently now, just to
Yeah.
see, so yeah, whatever happens, like they joke around, like my team, like my door says Reverend Dr. Darkchild on the door. Like they joke around, but hey, listen, wherever God leads what we're doing, man, I'm just all for it. That's all.
But then being the fact that your dad, Bishop, was there, I would assume there was always a need for somebody to take on being on stage and giving and preaching. Was there ever, but that was, I mean, I guess yours was the music side, but does that ever think that that might be, you may go in and be on stage and
I've spoken at my dad's church, like every I speak there. I think in 3 weeks I speak at my dad's church. I'm just not the big like I'm not him. I'm not the moaner, the guy that's gonna be. And God told me that.
no, 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 don't do
I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna tell the organist to give me an A sharp or A flat. I'm not.
that.
I'm just gonna literally speak what the word says. I'm gonna, I'll be more of a teacher than I would probably be a preacher.
Yeah.
Um, just like I just read scripture and then able to interject some stories in between and some testimonies. But I just love the word, and I love that it's so real, right, to our lives. And that when we really imply it and listen, it's like we have a cheat code because it's like a manual,
Yeah.
right? Like we see stuff that happen, events that we see happen in the world, we can go and be like, oh, God, clearly was showing that in his word years and years ago,
Yeah.
so see certain things play out as a Christian, you're not surprised. If
Mm.
anything, like you're like, I'm waiting for this moment to happen. I'm waiting for this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the exciting to me. The exciting part about being a Christian is being able to see like the word play out, and to know that it's factual, and to know that it's real, and to know that it's tangible. Like that's the part I love about it.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that kind of.
And somewhere in between
us for even loving us, on which I didn't miss you with.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple of pieces.
trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No. Okay.
They don't understand what Jonas boys do in all spirits.
Play it.
These guys, they all work together.
I mean, I love all different genres.